Hello everybody, I hope you're all having a good day. I want to show you a commission I just finished. This is a Mk5 from my second run, and a customer's been waiting quite a while for me to get this installed for him. He has been very patient. As always, I thank you all for your patience. Now, this is a previous customer of mine, and I know that he likes things to be a little more unique than others. He doesn't want to have a saber that's identical to somebody else's. And he gave me free rein on this. I didn't change much. I just did a few things in taste that I think would make it stand out and make him feel like he has a one-of-a-kind saber, which he does. First, I machined down here and added a brass ring for the end of the shroud. Next, I made a brass washer here for the resistor. And my personal taste is I like having just one washer on one resistor, not both. Brass blade plug. I added a brass thread adapter here. I milled slots in each one of these, which you might have remember about a year and a half back maybe, and don't quote me on the time frame, I'm horrible with that. I had done one of these like that, but I wasn't able to really take advantage of it. But now with this chassis that I have, I did some experimenting and was able to take advantage of that. And you'll see that in a little bit. That is the standard end cap for the second run of the Mk5. This replaces this if you just want a different look. It has a larger OD than this to match the OD of as if you had a Graflex clamp. And this is to replace it also for a third look. This is made so you can put a Graflex clamp on here. These slots on both sides are machined so that your clamp will fit right on. You don't have to worry about grinding the inner tabs of your clamp and ruining it. You can freely put any clamp on here. I recommend putting this on the grenade section first, slide your clamp on, then screw the booster section onto it, and then you can rotate the clamp into whatever position you like. That's why it's machined down here, so that you can, once you get past here, the tabs will spin freely in here, and then you can clamp it in whatever position you like. Just something to play with should you get bored with the saber. They came with all of the Mk5s on the second run. The position of the D-ring, he left that up to me as well. And this is where I prefer it on this saber, and kind of the same on my Obi-Wan, which I'll show you here in a second. I have it out with me. But I like this being on top. Now you have your 6 positions. I like this being on top instead of this being on top, because that allows its natural laying position to be angled up a little bit for viewing should you just want to set it on a shelf. And I like this position for the D-ring on this style saber, because this, when carrying it, it's keeping this along the line with your body, so that the switch and the 2 thumb screws and this is kind of laying, your leg would be kind of like in between there, and it keeps it in so it's not getting beat on anything. That's one reason I like that position. The other is it keeps it out of the way of my secondary hand. You know, a lot of people, well, even like on Luke's episode 6 saber, the ring is over here and it's just in the way. I don't like it. I understand why some people do, but for me, and if somebody's leaving it up to me, that's kind of the position I like on this style saber anyways. And I'll show you on my Obi-Wan. I kind of do the same, except the clamp is not the top position in my eyes. It's kind of the side. So, you know, I'm kind of holding my Obi-Wan like this, with this not really to the side, kind of up at about a 10 or 1030 position. And that keeps the ring right here so it's not interfering with my hand. So that's that anyways. Let me go ahead and show you these side by side so you can kind of see the length difference. They're almost the same overall as far as booster length. Grenade length is the same. So you can see the extra length is up here on the emitter. But it is pretty much in size. I mean, the camera's not showing it perfect, but it is in line with the size. That's not even showing it perfect, but it is. It's showing, you know, it's in line with the size of a Obi-Wan Kenobi saber, except for the extra length on the emitter right here. All right, so let's cut this thing on. Sorry about that. And there you see what I was able to take advantage of now that I have this new chassis that Will designed for me. I did some experimenting and got the crystal chamber back here and speaker just behind the crystal chamber. You know, I'll show that in a little bit. And there's the blade plug. Get a little light through that. I do have fiber optic in there and just a glass part of a crystal right there. That can always be changed. This has a Space Windu 5-star disc in there to light it up with. And I use white on this, white instead of clear, to help transfer light to the outer edge so it glows better, and also to help transfer light to make this light up. Clear, when using clear, I found in the past on some other people's I'd done, it just didn't light up very well unless they had a full blade in there. So you people that do have these and you want that to light up better, try maybe making a white blade plug. This is, I believe, I threaded this at a 1032 brass, and this is an 832 stainless screw. Both of them do work as far as holding your blade in, and they are threaded through both layers of the shroud and emitter. There was another saber where I milled out slots in here for the crystal chamber up here. But on all of the sabers I had done in the past, the crystal chamber was up here. Let me go ahead and put a blade in here just so you can see it working. I couldn't get it all on there so you could see all the blasters, but they were working. On this switch here, I have a milled out and a rubber backing isolator to the right depth so that this switch is firmly in there. It cannot push through nor bust apart. That is a secure switch, because some of these will. I've seen them bust apart, but this one will not. This switch is threaded. This adapter right here is threaded on the inside and out, so the switch is threaded in. So let's go ahead and take it apart here. This is where I recommend taking it apart for just setting up on display of the crystal chamber. Here's the chamber. I machined aluminum speaker holder to use as the base of the chamber, and then the chamber is mounted inside of the original plastic speaker holder, which I'll show you more of that when I get this section off. Sealed. Now, for accessing your SD card, I recommend just taking it apart here. The grenade section does not need to come off. It will come off, but it doesn't need to. And it folds open right here. You have a mini charge port, on-off switch, SD card access right there, and USB port. All right there in one little spot. I have the wires twisted and bent to where they do not hang up on the switch inside there. Cut the switch off and take your SD card out. You don't need to cut the switch off to charge it. It does break the contact going to the board. And this is how I test boards before I put a charger on it. If it kills the board and gives me a reading for the battery, good. I will supply this adapter. You should really never need to take this grenade section off, to be honest. This chassis isn't really meant or designed to be a display piece. I did a little painting on here just so it didn't look like black plastic, but in my mind, and I recommend treating that as nothing but a chassis and keeping the grenade section on here, and just remove the other parts as needed. And I kind of recommend keeping one of these sections on also, unless you are accessing the SD card or charging. Let me take this back off again. Everything is solid and secure when the saber is together, but do realize that little hinge point right there is that, and a magnet is all that's holding that together. So if you drop this saber or something on a hard surface, or maybe even on carpet, and this is all it's on, this could break that hinge. You know, this is kind of an experimental piece. I made it work, and it seems durable as long as treated with care. Now, when the saber's together, you should have no worries whatsoever. But that's how I recommend displaying if you want to show off the crystal chamber. And you can't open it but so far unless you remove this. But even then, when displaying, you know, put it somewhere where it can't roll off or be knocked off, because if this hits the ground first, it's going to probably break that little hinge joint. I did update the board. Put my two fonts on there. Well, it's one font, but I have two versions now, where you have one with the extra sounds and one without the extra sounds, you know, in case you just like the hums and swings and whatnot. They're both on there. All of Plector's new fonts, the updated ones where they all are nice smooth swing, they're all on here. I do have screen mesh in here. Take this off. See, it's brass thread adapter threaded on the inside and out to fit on here. Sometimes the adapter will stick on here and stay there, and sometimes it'll stick on here and stay there. Just leave it wherever it naturally sticks to. It doesn't matter. Clip holding that in. I do have screen mesh in there, so it's not so easy for you to see the speaker through here. If you ever do decide that you want this at a different position, say, you know, right here is the top of the saber, and you know, I have it over here, like, I don't know what that is. I guess 2 o'clock is what that would be. But say if you decide you want it at like 3 o'clock, so that this is the top of the saber, you can just hone here or on the face of the brass a little bit until it rotates around just a little bit more. I do have everything honed, all of these pieces honed, so that you'll have the same pommel position no matter which one of these three you decide to use. You know, they might not be exactly precise, but I have them close, and a lot of times I will leave them a little bit before the point that I want, to allow for a little break-in of the threads, so that once you've had it apart and back together a few times, it should end up being just where it needs to be. See, that's just a little bit before, and I don't have it really tight either. Tightening it down will get it a little bit further up there. Yep. So you can see right there, it's just a little bit before where that switch is. So after it breaks in just a little bit, it should be just right. And on charging, talking to an installer that I trust with my life, he says that charging these little micro charge ports at 1 amp is safe. I trust him, I believe him, but being my paranoid self, I charge it at 0.5 amps. I recommend a charger such as this. This has been my go-to for a while. It has a switch here where I can choose 0.5 amp or 1 amp. I can also, I can charge battery just by popping one in there. I wired this up. You can see I just soldered some 24, I believe this is 24 gauge, I don't know, to my positive and negative here. So I have both a single battery and a plug-in, and that has an adapter on it. But I do recommend getting a decent charger. This has been a good one. I trust this a lot. And I definitely like having the option of 0.5 or 1 amp. I mean, in my opinion, too, I might be wrong, who knows, but I feel like every now and then all batteries should be charged at 0.5 amp, because I feel like it conditions them better and will get them back to using their full capacity a little bit, helps maintain them. That myth might have been busted, but that's I'm stuck in my ways on that one. So I would personally charge this saber with a 0.5 just to be safe on those small charge ports. But other people may tell you different, and you can do what you like. I do back up my work. So that is about it, guys. Couple of my favorite sabers here. I am a big Obi-Wan fan, no doubt about it. Yeah, see, I like that one to set like this. So I try to think about that when I'm positioning my pommels. How do I want the saber to sit on display? And that's about what I like right there. All right, guys, end of this long video. You guys have a great day, and may the force be with you.